What's up, everybody? Erebus again with some more Dark Souls 3 PvP fun times. Starting off here, we're going to be spending today on Sl15. And starting off, we have a host with a high-level Phantom, and the Phantom wants to duel. So I am good with that, and the host is just going to stand back and watch. It's nice when these things pan out. Now, Phantom has been guarding a few times, so I go for the guard break. Don't get it. Because he actually, the last one at least, he dropped his guard when I started my animation for it, which was good. Now here I go for my usual after trade parry. He did not try to attack after the trade, so it didn't work. Host is moving around a bit, which is making me nervous, but it's alright. Still trying some parries, trying to get this guy. And he poisons me because he's got a poison dark sword. But I clinch it out with him. As I'm giving him the bow, in comes the host. No honor, no patience. That's fine. Go to punish the rolling attack, and unfortunately I don't get to. But I get the after trade on him. And that's all there is about that one. No honor among hosts. This should be a new thing. Hashtag no honor among hosts. It's kind of long. I don't know. We'll figure something out at some point. Now here we have good old Bejesus, who I know is at the beginning here since these guys are moving around. Now, just looking at him right off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, he's a twink as well, and has had some things dropped for him, more likely than not, because I believe he's using, from the moveset, either Hollow Slayer or Drake Blood. I can't quite see from here. Originally I thought it was Hollow Slayer, which is why I thought he was doing something he shouldn't be doing, because you shouldn't be invaded in this area if you have the Hollow Slayer. But looking at it now, I think it's the Drake Blood, which somebody could have just dropped for him. But at any rate, he's got the big fat armor. He's got a great sword that he shouldn't have access to in this area. So I know I got a twink, but I'm not real concerned because I'm thrashing him. But he goes ahead and heals. Great. So much for honor. Thought we were having a duel. I thought wrong. So now I'm just trying to punish him when he uses Estus to the extent that I can. Go for the parry, mess it up. He originally, I think, was going to try to parry me because he had his shield out, but maybe thought better of it. I'm not sure. But now he's just coming in trying to outspace my hits and get damage on me. And yeah, this invasion is way too long because it really was over in the first few seconds there, and he just was hoping that by chugging he could turn it around. But really all you do when you chug a lot during an invasion is you're prolonging the inevitable. I mean, there are times where, you know, that getting that health back will help you turn the tide of battle, but there are other times, and specifically it's in 1v1s that it comes up a lot, where really all you're generally doing when you chug is just prolonging the battle. That's why the arena doesn't allow Estus. But it's fine. The only thing that gets frustrating here is I don't have a heavier weapon than this on this character. And between this guy's armor and absorption and the weapon he's using, I can't trade with anything. You see me start trading because at this point I don't really care anymore about taking damage. I just want it to be over. So yeah, I'll trade R1s with him. But that's not really very smart because of course he's going to have more Estus than me, more likely than not. Although maybe not at this stage of the game. But he may have more Estus than me, and either way, I'm going to be using Estus a lot more if I'm just carelessly trading with a greatsword. But it is what it is. I stopped doing that as much and try to just get angles on them. The attack pattern of the greatsword, particularly these types, it's very vertical. So it's not impossible to sidestep them. Depends, of course, on latency and where they're at and all that for how effective that's going to be, but a lot of times you can sidestep to an extent, especially if you're turtling, even behind a little shield. So the other option is just to let him swing a couple times and roll in, which is what I do there. Sadly, he kept enough stamina to roll out, so it was not super beneficial. But yeah, this continues. It was very frustrating in the moment, but part of that though leads me to a point. If you're ever frustrated when you're playing Dark Souls, it says more about you than it does anything else. And you know, I was frustrated during this invasion because it was just taking so long. It was so annoying. And I thought about it afterwards and was like, okay, why was I irritated by that? What did I do wrong that caused me to not have as much fun? And it's really because I'm just being careless. I'm getting hit. I can't finish this guy off soon enough. And I should have been doing more rollback stabs like I did just there. I should have been making parries instead of whipping them constantly. I should have been doing that, punishing his parry attempts. There's a lot of things I should have been doing that could have shortened that invasion quite a bit. But just as a side note for, everybody else, if you ever get irritated, it's usually because you're not doing something effectively or efficiently. So it's always good to examine your own habits as a player when those situations occur. Now, most of the rest of this video is going to be a fight club. I've sped up the portions in between my fight specifically, but this was kind of amusing. I invaded in the Crucifixion Woods, and there was a host here with a red already chasing him, and by the time I got up here, the red was just fighting a summon while the host just stood aside. So I continued, or I followed suit and just stayed out of it and let the two of them fight it out. And yeah, turned into a little fight club. I don't think it was intended to be originally. I think the host panicked at being invaded at first, but it became a fight club, and it became a really fun fight club. But it became an unfair fight club as well. So what happened, essentially, is that the other red and I did not battle each other. We waited, and the host would summon just random phantoms that he found. He would summon phantoms, and there were blues being summoned in because he had away the blue. So me and the other invader would just take turns fighting phantoms and blues, and not each other. Which, the reason that's not really fair is because phantoms and blues are dialed in for ganking. At the extreme, they're prepped for ganking. At the less extreme, they're prepped at least for teamwork. They're not usually solo PvP players. And so, pitting a red against a blue in a fight club, or a red against a phantom in a fight club, oftentimes is going to go in the red's favor. Now, that's not going to happen all the time. Of course, there's phantoms and blues who are great at PvP. Nobody's saying there aren't. But as a general rule, at least, reds are far better at PvP than blues or phantoms. So this is a little bit unfair, and it's basically just me and this red collecting a whole bunch of tongues. Which is fine. I mean, I don't know about him. All I really wanted to be doing was PvPing, so I was kept happy by the constant influx of new people to fight. And the fact that I don't lose for a very long time helps. Now, I do lose eventually to someone, and that clip is in here as well at the end of this segment. But it took a really long time. And it's not that I'm necessarily super proud of that, because it should take a long time, given what I said about, PvP and 1v1s when it comes to phantoms and blues and whatnot. So I'm not necessarily proud of that, but it was a lot of fun. It was a little unfair, but it was a lot of fun. And that's all there is. It was just a good time. So, Host was a cool guy. He eventually just took off all his clothes and started goofing off in between fights, which was pretty fun. Now, pretty soon, though, we're going to run into somebody who actually made me kind of irritated. This guy I felt kind of bad for. He didn't even really get a chance to fight. He made one mistake, and that cost him. And so here's some evidence of the just goofing off between matches, and me and the Red not fighting each other. We're just having a blast over here until Phantoms or Blues come, and then we'll go from there. I was goofing off with the host for a while. And then a blue comes, yet another one. Blue Sentinel, pew pew. I had really hoped to use a sorcerer, because pew pew, I would think they're little Farron darts and stuff, little pew pews. But he's a pyro. So I don't feel like the name is as appropriate, but still kind of funny. This blue is a little bit better than some of the other people. That was really good. He came in like he was coming in for a running attack, so I would parry, and then use combustion. That was pretty smart. Unfortunately, on the follow-up time, I knew he was going to use combustion, and I just attacked through it, because I know I have a fair amount of vigor, and I can tank that. Now, the only really unfortunate thing about this is I don't generally carry Ash Nestus on me on this character, because I don't have spells or anything like that, and I don't typically use the weapon art more than I have space for. So I'm running out of FP, and I don't like that when there's turtlers. Now, this individual I don't blame entirely. When they were summoned, it was just me, them, and the host, so they didn't realize what was going on here with the Fight Club. Now there I got a bit robbed. I don't know why, but the Hornet Ring just decided to not be there for a second. Gave me the wrong animation and less damage than it should have. So thanks, Dark Souls? Yeah, that one was confusing. So this person didn't immediately notice that it was a Fight Club, so I kind of forgive the initial, just jumping right in with the attack. But they're going to piss me off in other ways shortly. Now they do a good job. They go ahead and kick my guard open since I've got my shield up, and then position themselves behind me to R1 spam when I stand up. Unfortunately, I know that they're going to spam, and I parry that third hit, and it's over. I think about pointing down, but I don't, because again, like I said, when they spawned in, the other Red wasn't here, nobody else was here, it was just me and the host, so they may not have known it was a Fight Club. So I'll let it go. But now the host summons that same Phantom back, who points up at my buddy over here, which irritates me to begin with. And then wins and points down at me and at the other Red, I believe. So now I'm irritated. So I go ahead and heal up. Now you know the rules. You know what's going on. Let's go. I'm not going to bow because this person has no honor. They go ahead and point up before the fight. And I'm thinking, wow, you're cocky for somebody who just lost to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and teach this person a bit of a lesson here, or at least try to. Now there, I charged the R2, but not quite long enough to avoid the parry. They come around again with the R1 spam, but only go twice instead of 3 times. So they're learning a bit at least, which is more than you could say for me, walking around with my shield on their face. But they also are guarding, so I go ahead and kick them open and riposte. Damn host got in the way, so I couldn't get him with the after R1. But that's okay. They go ahead and got something here, and I'm just going to throw a bomb right in their face, and then give them the edge block point down, because they are not that good, and they are extremely arrogant and annoying. So then I'm just going to chill with the host for a while. It takes a little bit for anyone else to show up. There was a blue, but you see there they died to the PvE, so now there's not a blue. This blue comes in, good old Swole Air, which is great. I love that one. And he gets it. Yeah, he's ready. He's ready. So we have a nice little 1v1 here with no Estus, because he gets how it's supposed to work. But then I see that this other red is attacking the host. Now, he took a break for a second, and I thought maybe he was going to get it, but he didn't. So he's out here trying to kill the host. So me and the blue team up to swarm on him, because we're doing a thing here. We are trying to have a nice fight club, and you are jumping in and ruining it. Now, I don't think this red understood it was a fight club at first. I think they just thought that I was fighting a blue and there was also a host. But either way, they figured it out by now. Because they realized that I am attacking them and they attack me back. So, I don't know. They should know that I ought to be a teammate, and they must have done something wrong. But then again, there are douchey invaders that just are weird and attack other invaders. It does happen, so. Maybe he was confused, maybe he wasn't, I don't know. At any rate, he kills Swole Air, so we can't continue our battle, which is okay, honestly. I'm pretty much positive I was going to beat him. He was trying to use force and just be a goof. Now I know this guy likes to parry, so I'm trying to be conservative with my R1s. He charged that R2, which was good. I charged it more than I thought he would. That time I knew how long he was going to charge it, so I got the parry off. And that's the end of him. Host got their armor back on so that they wouldn't die. And now the host is safe, so our fight club can continue. But we have to wait for somebody else to come in. So the host is going to summon a phantom here. New phantom that's super twinked out, just like me. And we're going to go ahead and bow. And time to get going. Now, putting fire on a great club is an interesting choice, but I don't play particularly well against this person. I think I was coming down still from having beaten the parry Lord Invader with Big Hat, because I was pretty happy about that. But what I should have done was switch to my dagger and just use that, because I'm primarily going to be going for backstabs here. A lot of backstabs, and so the dagger would have been a better option. But, you know, you live, you learn. I cannot trade with something that outrageous, so I'm trying to just kind of come in after their hits are done and get some damage in. That's pretty much my goal. There, I thought they were only going to go for 2. I didn't know they could go for 4. Previously, they went for a max of 3, which was, if intentional, that was a good deceptive technique to make me think that I knew how many swings they could make, because I thought it was 3, and then actually have it before so that they could get the kill shot. That was good on them. At any rate, here's another where'd my Hornet Ring go, with both the damage and the animation. I don't know why that happens. If anybody knows, by all means, leave it in the comments, let me know. I'm on PS4, but I just don't know why that would be a thing. But at any rate, we're back at good old Undead Settlement, which is where I like to hang out with this character. And we got a host and an overleveled Phantom, which is just the story of my life, really. Tried to go for the Estus bait parry there, and didn't have room, unfortunately. And I'm just not enjoying the combo here, because honestly, a lot of times I find it more challenging to fight a 2v1 than a 3v1 at this point, because when it's a 3v1 or a 4v1 for that matter, a lot of times the Phantoms and the host, all of them on that side of the battle, they play sloppier. They make more mistakes. They rush in when they shouldn't. They don't heal when they should. You know, so on and so forth. But I feel like with 3 or 4v1, a lot more mistakes get made because people play less carefully when they outnumber an invader by that much. When it's 2, I feel like they still take it pretty seriously. And that's not to say that they don't make mistakes or, you know, can't make mistakes or whatever. Of course, they can and they do. But what I'm saying is I feel like they play more cautiously when there's only 2 of them because they know that it's not that great of an advantage. So, just a side note, I find 2v1s to be harder sometimes than 3 or even 4v1s. But this battle is honestly a lot of me getting beat to crap and just trying to return some of that damage. This Phantom's got, you know, their excellent Estus that refills their entire health bar with 1 drink, no matter how low they are, which is always great. But now I see that the summon is out of Estus. I just saw out of the corner of my eye that animation. Thanks for showing me that. And now the Phantom's just going to play Runaway, essentially. They are going for a couple of hits, but mostly they're backing way down, which I'm okay with, because that means I can have the host to myself, and that's all I really need. So go for the Estus parry here, and end it. And the summon's really sad, which I don't know why you're so sad. You left them to die, so now I'm going to kill you as well for fun. Anyway, that's all I've got time for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed.